When you travel like I do, your suitcases cannot be an extra thing to have to worry about. But on my last 2 trips, I had 2 different Monos check-in suitcases break in 2 different ways within weeks of each other. There are plenty of videos that talk about Monos luggage, and they always brag about the great warranty. But no one actually talks about what happens when you actually need to use that warranty. So today I'm going to walk through what the Monos warranty process was like, what it covered, what it didn't cover, and what I wish I had done differently. They were saying, like, we don't cover for airline damage. Oh, Monos is terrible. There were 1,000 ways that my bag could have broken. There was truly no way for me to know at what point it broke. Hi, I'm Brooke. I'm a travel agent and I make videos about accessible travel. I travel a lot with my husband, who is a full-time wheelchair user. So when we travel, there are a lot of things going on at any given time. And so my suitcases just have to work. I don't want to think about them. I don't want to manage them. I just want them to do their job. And maybe be a little cute, but mostly do their job. Up until now, Monos have been checking every single one of those boxes, or at least I thought they did, until both of my check-in suitcases were damaged while traveling and in completely different ways. The first one was on a cruise ship. Our process getting to the airport was a little hectic because my entire household went. So that's 4 people's worth of stuff and a wheelchair. It was difficult to get all of that into one vehicle to get to the airport. So a lot of my focus was on making sure Adam's chair was properly stored. I handed my medium check bag to the taxi driver, and I don't think I might not have touched it again, honestly, until I was on the cruise ship. We get on board, unpacked, and then Rowan pushed my suitcase under the bed, and there it was for the entirety of the 8-day cruise. So when I pulled the suitcase back out to pack, I noticed that the wheel was a little bit loose, and I thought there was some cracking around the wheel, and I was like, oh, that's a problem. But the other problem I had was that we had a 10 o'clock deadline to get our bags out so that the porters can take them, and of course I was running late on that deadline, so I very quickly forgot about the wheel. When we got to the airport, I noticed it was actually worse. There was actually 2 cracked wheels. So now what, right? Because they're not going to take a report after the fact. For all they know, it was damaged on the airline on the way back. And obviously I'm not filing a claim with the airline because I don't know that they did it, but I also don't know that Royal Caribbean did it, because there were so many people who had my suitcase between the time that I left my house and the time that I saw the crack. There were 18 different people who had custody of my bag at some point. So now the second bag, I had kind of put the first one out of my memory until it was time to go on the second trip, which was really only 4 weeks later. I packed the large check-in bag. We stayed in 4 different rooms on purpose so that we could get 4 different room tours. Again, it was one of these situations where my bag was being moved by other people and not me. If you saw my Wilderness Lodge video where we had the issue with the fire alarms and being trapped in the wheelchair and all this, which I'll put a card here so that you can find it. But it was a chaotic trip. I was very focused on Adam, on safety, on the fire alarms, on just not being stressed about the whole situation, not sleeping well, all of those things. When our bags arrived at the final hotel, I noticed that there was a crack in the case this time. It was no longer usable with this kind of crack, but it was also camouflaged because of the pattern that's on the suitcase. So I was again stuck with this, what happened? Riviera was able to confirm that it was cracked when they received it. Did it crack at Fort Wilderness? Did it crack on the way from Fort Wilderness to Riviera? Did it crack at the airport? I don't know. So having gone through this twice and then contacting Monos to tell them what happened, I learned a lot, because you hear lifetime warranty, and to me that sounds like lifetime warranty, no matter what happens, they're going to fix it. But that's not the case. And that's not the case. And that's not specific to Monos. I looked at away travel because when I was frustrated with Monos, I was because my bags kept breaking, I was oh, maybe I should look at away. Maybe their bags are better or something. And so I went, and they have the same language in their lifetime warranty as well. The lifetime warranty is covering manufacturer defects. So things like the zipper not, getting stuck and not being fixable, or the wheels just suddenly stop turning, or things of this nature. It's not going to cover damage during travel. I submitted requests for both suitcases. They were handled by 2 different Monos representatives. And when I contacted them, that was what they said. They said it does. And I'm but you're a travel company. What else is going to get damaged? I really wasn't thinking about it that way. And so I was, quite perturbed. But they were saying it's not, we don't cover for airline damage. So, and that's true, like I said, of a lot of these other companies. So knowing what you're buying, knowing what your warranty covers and doesn't cover is really important, because you need to know what you have available to you. There were two different areas where I learned lessons. First, the lesson is not don't let other people handle your luggage. I know that seems like the easy answer, but when you're a caregiver like me, that can't be the answer. You need the service people. You need to be able to, have a stack of $5 bills and be generous about it, and getting people to help you carry your partner's bag, getting people to help you transferring your partner, all these things that have to get done that you're responsible for as the caregiver. Or if you're a parent and you've got little ones running around and you're focused on them and all those things, like, you can't put on you also, you have to maintain your own bags. It's not fair. It's not fair to you. So I am not here to say don't let people handle your bags. That's not the lesson here. The actual takeaway, though, is that when I give up custody of my bag, I need to take a second and look at it when I get it back. You want to look at the wheels, you want to look at the case, especially if it's a hard case, you want to look at the handles. Those are the things that are going to be the most likely to have an issue. Pay attention, you'll be able, and you can see what's going on in your bag. And then the second thing is that if something happens, you have to report it immediately. The window that you have for reporting damage on a suitcase is very small. And that report is super important for multiple reasons. So even if they say it's not us, we didn't do it, you still need the report. Like, once you leave their jurisdiction, right? You leave the airport, you leave the cruise, you leave the terminal, all bets are off, because they're going to say, oh, well, you probably threw it down the stairs when you were going on the ship. I don't know, right? You have to do it in a timely manner. When I was going back and forth with them, I also was like, wait a minute, I have travel insurance. Maybe I can, and my travel insurance does include repair and replacement of bags. I went to the portal for my travel insurance. After it asked for like name, date, it was like, please upload the report of the damage from the carrier. I have one. Let's say I had reported it, even if they've said we're not responsible, I could have used my travel insurance to get reimbursed for the bag. And then I guess finally, like, know what your warranty covers, because when I spoke to the first individual, he said, that's not covered under the lifetime warranty. However, we have an add-on warranty that we sell for $35, and we will let you purchase that warranty now, even though I should have purchased it. Like, if I was going to get that warranty, it would have needed to be purchased within like 2 weeks or something of the purchase date of the suitcase. That $35 add-on covers damage in transit. It says airline, but it also, like in the small print, it also talks about like cruise vessels and things like, so it's like transit, right? So if there's a mishap and your bag breaks because of someone else's actions during travel handling, they will, repair or replace your suitcase. And in this case, it needed a replacement. It's per suitcase. So if you got a new suitcase like that, then sort of resets, right? And so you can buy the warranty on that if you wanted to buy the warranty on that. And they have two options. They have an option where it's like one claim and then another one that has two claims. So like, it's on the same suitcase. Let's say one time the wheel breaks, but it's like fixable. And so they fix your suitcase, and then the case cracks. Well, now they fix that, right? So it's a one-time thing. But he offered to let me buy the $35 warranty now. And then when the second one came through, they gave me the same option, which is not usually how insurance works, to be clear. And, when the first one came through, I was kind of indignant. I was like, what do you mean? Like, this is ridiculous. And then the more I read, I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. That is not covered. If it's an airline or a cruise line or a taxi cab, like, these things are not covered by the lifetime warranty. Once I stopped being obstinate and being like, why do I have to pay $35? They retroactively added the insurance, which they didn't have to do. And then they sent me replacement suitcases. I got the suitcases super quickly. They were very responsive. They were just fantastic. And I will continue shopping with Manos. Like, at this point, I'm a Manos stan. The way that they took care of me, even though they absolutely didn't have to. I cannot express enough how much Manos did not owe me anything, and they still took care of me. And I think that's just so fantastic. I'm so grateful for the way they handled it, because I thought I was going to be like, oh, Manos is terrible. No, Manos came through. Manos really came through. And I don't know if other luggage companies offer that kind of add-on. I did not see it when I was looking. That seemed to be unique in their space, but for me, it's so worth it. These are an investment, whether you're going with Away or Monos or Base or Level 8 or any of those. So I am very appreciative. And what I learned is that, first of all, when you get your suitcase from somebody else's custody, check it. So important to check it. That's number one. And then number two, if something's wrong, report it right away. Is also the problem. They did send me, like I said, they sent me some new luggage, and I am going to film an unboxing. And so once that is available, I will put it on the end card here. And if you'd like to know more about our accessible travel adventures, check out this video that YouTube thinks you might like.